From the very first time I went online and looked at the program, I understood that it was very well structured. There were many activities, from the mentorship in the department to the teaching training workshops. Everything here is built for you to succeed in those skills that you will need in the future of an academic life. So that's really what I wanted from my postdoc, and probably that's one of the most important reasons why I applied for the place.
The Max Weber program is the largest postdoctoral program in the historical and social sciences in Europe and possibly the world. We have about 60 postdocs every year in 4 disciplines: social and political sciences, economics, law and history.
I finished my PhD at Sciences Po in Paris last year. I'm Norwegian and I work on Sunni Islamism in the Middle East and political leadership.
So I'm Matteo. I'm a first-year Max Weber Fellow in economics, and I received my PhD from the University of Leicester. I work in banded rationality, which is the mathematical modeling on individual behavior, but departing a bit from the usual full rationality assumption of economics.
I'm a German political scientist. I studied in Germany and Italy, and I finished my PhD at the University of Essex in the UK. I care about how states can actually lower poverty and inequality via social policy, via tax policy.
I'm a historian of modern Europe. I work on the history of science and urban history, mostly in East Central Europe, but also in a wider European and global context.
I'm based at the law faculty here. I work on human rights and discrimination law.
I'm a Max Weber Fellow at the Economics Department, and my research uses applied econometrics to answer questions about health and mortality.
The first obvious challenge is the very large number of candidates, of excellent candidates that we have from all over the world.
We're a very competitive program. We have around 1,300 applicants each year, and we're only able to take around about 4%. However, everybody we take is a young scholar. They've only just finished their PhD. That's the group that we emphasize. And what we're looking for are not people who are just from elite institutions, but people who we feel are going to benefit from the program.
So being the mentor of a Max Weber Fellow is first of all to be a guide to the EUI, especially on arrival, to give new fellows a sense of the wealth of knowledge, the depth of the research that goes on here, and to open doors for them here. But I think more fundamentally, to be a mentor is to help a rising star in academia think not only about how they can build upon their research, particularly their doctoral project, what possibilities there might be, but how to think about an academic career more generally.
That's just perfect. So the interaction with the department is really probably the biggest strength of this program. It's really where you want to be at this point of your career. It's between being a PhD student with a supervisor and being a fully independent academic. So this mentorship is really what you're looking for.
We do emphasize having time for your own research, but we do it in the context of training for participation in a global academic community.
The Max Weber program is a very special program for postdocs for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is that we offer training during the academic year in writing, in presenting and teaching in English. When a fellow completes the teaching model successfully, they get a teacher training certificate, and that has proved an important asset on the job market, as many of them get junior professorships.
Our job is to support them in acquiring the sorts of skills for expressing that content in the rhetorically the most effective way, getting it across to their targeted audience. This is a really international program with people coming from a wide variety of national contexts. So some people have more training than others. There's really no one-size-fits-all. We address this through a series of collective and individual offerings. And these range from teaching to facilitating, for example, of writers' groups, to individual coaching, particularly when the job market is involved.
I was very much attracted by the interdisciplinarity of the program and the opportunity to work with other scholars in fields that are outside of my own research.
So one of the things that we want to instill within the postdocs within the Max Weber community is an appreciation of each other's work. And we try to do this in a number of ways. One is locational. We bring people together and we deliberately put them in offices where they have to share with somebody from a different discipline to their own.
So the Max Weber program is housed in its own premises, which means that my everyday academic environment has substantial interaction with fellows from all disciplines, and this provides for a very stimulating research environment.
The thematic groups are an important feature of the Max Weber program as a postdoctoral program. They bring together the postdoctoral fellows from different departments, law, social political sciences, economics and history, around cross-cutting themes. And as a result, it's one of the distinctive features of the program that fellows are not limited to interactions with other fellows in their discipline or in their home department, but interact rather with fellows from a range of disciplines that are working on related issues.
I think the interdisciplinary character was the key to it. I've really enjoyed interactions in our research group, the thematic research group. We were particularly a cohort of political scientists and lawyers, and that was a really good combination, especially for me as working on intersectional discrimination, looking at how people were statistically measuring it, getting the evidence from them about what it actually looked like. It was quite a fascinating one for me, and I think from what I'd imagined it to be, it came to be true.
We also invite leading scholars from all four of the main disciplines to give Max Weber lectures. And each Max Weber lecturer does a masterclass with one of the thematic groups in order to discuss both their work and also their career and what they've learned from other disciplines than their own. And finally, we give support to the Max Weber Fellows themselves to organise multidisciplinary workshops at which they can invite some outsiders, some of the professors from the departments also take part, and sometimes PhD researchers too, and they themselves present work, and these provide fora often for what become collaborative research projects, special issues of journals, or simply help them better understand their own research.
What I actually really enjoy in the Max Weber program is the fact that it's so social and so interactive. I have worked a lot with other fellows, especially with those working on security and the Middle East, since this is my field, in the context of the working group Europe in the World, but also in the thematic workshops.
But it's also extraordinarily successful at promoting them. Around about 94% have a job on leaving the program. But we've also noticed that it gives added value compared to those who don't enter the program in terms of their career progression afterwards. So one of the distinctive aspects of the program is that we have what we call the Academic Career Observatory. And what this observatory does is it collects data on employment practices across all of Europe and also beyond, particularly North America. At the end of the program, what you discover is that you become a member of what is an international network and community of Max Weber Fellows that really spans the globe. We found that over 70% of Max Weber Fellows stay in contact with and often do research with other Max Weber Fellows, as well as forming many social relationships with them.
I talked with all fellows, so I am sharing also an office with an economist, for example, another political scientist, and another economist. We talk a lot about our research, but of course also about private things. So I think that the ambiance among the fellows is actually very good, so we do a lot together.
Living in Florence is the best, and the Max Weber program is compared to many other postdoctoral programs, is so social. People work on so many interesting issues, and we have so many interesting discussions also over aperitivo or dinner. And I mean, living on the Tuscan hills, nothing can be better.
The atmosphere at the EUI is very international. You have researchers from all over the world coming together. And the great strength is also that there is no much hierarchy, so you can actually talk and get input from all levels.
So the library has been a fantastic resource for me. Few researchers before me had already worked on intersectionality and intersectional discrimination, so I came to a library which was full of books which I actually needed. But also the fact that there were many things which weren't there, but they just magically appeared.
I think that the EUI is a highly international environment. So the PhD program, although primarily European, the researchers come from a variety of countries. The Max Weber program is a truly global program, and the faculty members come from various different countries and also have PhDs from various different countries. This provides for a very strong opportunity to build a good academic network in the future.
In many ways, I think it's comparable to the Society of Fellows of some of the leading American universities.
We are a very distinctive kind of program, one which shapes the careers of fellows and leaves a lasting impression on them throughout the whole of their lives.
Well, under the Tuscan sun,